Money.
You well, soaring beyond the now. I have with me my guest is Yvonne Gamble. Yvonne, why don't you get started while I do some technical stuff here?
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Lee. That's fine. And we are continuing with our Women of Wealth, with our Higher Wealth, Soaring Beyond the Now masterclass. Thank you all for joining us back again here. Just give you a little recap on what we talked about last week, and then we will have our host Jay to bring up this slide presentation. But before we get to that, I just wanted to say, let's keep in mind that last week we talked about the things that it takes for you to be financially credible, and that is to establish your credibility, in the finance world. And so this week, what we're going to do is we're going to expound on that, and we're actually going to broaden those, and we're going to talk about what it actually takes, the implementation side of becoming financially fit. And that's what we're going to do. But before we get to that, I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Lee and let her continue with our intro, and then we will start our class for tonight. Dr. Lee?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. I guess my little technical difficulty is all fixed. This show is really, really going to be one of the hottest shows on the internet. So much has come at me as I'm trying to do this until I say, wow, this is something that has to happen. But if you're not doing anything that bring forth some challenges to you, you need to take a look at, is this what I really need to be doing? And my passion is always trying to help people, specifically women, get empowered to get wealth. And I'm of the mind that everyone needs 7 streams of income.
True.
And
Very true.
but before we can get into them, we have to become financially fit. And before we can become financially fit, we have to make sure that we understand where our higher wealth will come from. That leads me to my scripture for tonight. Proverbs 10 and 22. The blessings of the Lord maketh rich, and he added no sorrow to it. And I want to pause for a minute and recognize, um, I guess, honor those that have passed on.
Yes.
This day from this corona thing, I lost someone that I know, and that was kind of difficult just knowing, but we all have. And it's happening every day. And it's so sad. It's a shame. And happening in the greatest country in the world.
Oh yeah. Well, my condolences and my heart goes out to you for you and the family on that
Yeah.
loss.
Yes. And we also, it's just amazing how in the world do two awesome civil rights leaders leave us on the same day. So we want to pay respect to both of them, Dr. Vivian, Reverend Dr. Vivian,
Mhm.
and Congressman John Lewis.
Yes, definitely. Both of them they were men of honor.
Yes,
They stood for what they stood for. They stood by it. They honored it through thick and thin, through the good times, through the bad times, through everything, every challenge. They stood there and they encouraged so many people. I have seen so much on LinkedIn, Facebook, just all across the social media, in the
wow.
newspapers, people talking as they're just going about their daily business about just the impact that they have had on their lives, on how they did things, why they did things, and just honoring them. But what it is, what I look at it is this. I remember John Lewis saying to me, he said, all of this will be left to you, to all
Mm,
of you
hmm.
to carry forth and carry the torch. And he said that's what's going to be more important, and that's what did his heart good, was to see that we were picking up the ball and we were running with it. And he said
Yes,
and he said that's most important. He says we won't get there in any one lifetime. We're going to get there over many lifetimes. He says, but what makes the difference is that we continue, and that we continue, that nothing is lost, that we've lost him. They've gone on, good and faithful servants. Their job well done. That's why when you
well
ask the
done.
question, how could they both go on the same day? Job well done. They had done their job.
Well
They had
done.
signed out. It was, signing off. It was time to go. And so now it's left to us to carry forward and to take this mantle, not let it be something that was, and oh, that was yesterday, oh, we don't have those issues of today. Those issues are front and center, and we have to continue going and continue building and developing and changing.
Exactly. And I was talking to an influencer here in Atlanta today, and I was so impressed by one thing that he said. This is a movement.
Hmm.
It's such a
Yes.
serious social justice, financial, call it what you want to call, movement. And if we don't get inside of this movement, become successful, shame on us. The
Yes.
opportunity is here. We just have
Hmm.
to raise our mindset, raise ourselves up, elevate our thinking to figure out how do we fit into the movement. We thank God because listen, some people still have not gotten it yet
Yes.
that God is in control over this thing. It's not
Hmm.
going to end just because we say it has to end and just because we want to make it end. God is in control over this corona. And he is going to get whatever it is that he's insisted on fall in place. It's going to happen. If we want to move on, whatever God is trying to teach us, we will have to learn that lesson. And one of the things that I think he wants us to learn is about wealth.
Hmm.
Blessings of the Lord will
Yeah.
make you rich and
Hmm.
add no sorrow to it. And yes, some have gone on, but a lot, so many are still here. And he
Oh yeah.
reminded me of that. Yes, some have come on home, but look at those that are infected, that are still here to get inside of this movement and do what God has called them to do in
Hmm.
search of the higher wealth. And it means so much to us, Yvonne, from financial wealth, physical wealth, family
Yes.
wealth. Just looking at all of my family, I get so excited. And I said, you know, you're really a wealthy woman. And that is true.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Family wealth is one of the most important wealth that we can accumulate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to get into the nitty gritty of this class here because it's very exciting, and I've looked at the presentations, and it's all about becoming financially fit. And by the time we finish, people will understand and realize I've got to have my 7 streams of income. Let
Yes.
me figure out how to get into it. Let me
There you
start
go.
with the mindset because you can't
Mm-hmm.
even get into that until you get your mindset right.
That's
So,
right.
with that being said, Yvonne, take it on over.
Okay. Well, Jay, if you could bring up the presentation to slide 1.
Okay, looks good. Looks good.
Okay, let's see the full. There we go. Okay. Well, what we had talked about, as I was recapping on last week, we basically were setting, I was setting the tone and setting you up. And actually, some people thought we were setting them up for the finish line, but actually, I was setting you up to become the seed. And the
Mm,
seed is because the seed is what actually carries you through. The seed of any plant, the seed of mankind, a baby or what have you, it's seeded. Everything that it will become is in there, is within that seed. And so therefore, once we plant that seed, once we have everything in it, then we can plant the seed, then we begin to grow. And then we have to cultivate that wealth building. And we're going to be again talking about mindset because I need to get your minds where they need to be. This is all about mindset. When we think about wealth, many times we think about money. That's generally what we attribute to wealth, money. Money is just simply one of the tools. We talked about that last week in class 1. We talked about doing our introduction, and we will talk about that throughout this wealth building masterclass. And that is the tool that we use to create those 7 streams of income that Dr. Lee was speaking about. That's money, but that's not all there is. In order to have wealth, you have to have peace of mind. You have to have peace of mind within your mind. You have to have peace of mind within your spirit. You have to have peace of mind within your family, within your home, within your business, within your community. There has to be peace within those areas, and those areas have to come together. And that is all a part of the fitness. If you think about you were going to go out and you wanted to work out and you wanted to become physically fit, well, you wouldn't just simply train your right arm to raise 200 pounds. No, you would have to train your whole body because it would take more than just your right arm and hand to lift that 200 pounds. When you're lifting that, you've got to lift that with all. You got to use your back, you got to use your knees, your legs. You have to use your whole entire body to lift that. And when you think about becoming financially fit, it's more than just one thing. So let's get into it and let's see slide number 2, Jay. Think like a bee. If we took away 1 million bees, there would be no bees, we'd have no food. 71% of the crops that we have are devoured by 90% of the people on the world. This is what we actually have for our population around the entire world. And if you have seen in many areas, the bees, you saw them go away. When we went to a more genetically in the industrialized areas, I would say industrialized countries, we began using genetically modified organisms, foods, where we basically were creating the foods in the lab, in the laboratory. We basically were taking away the bees and what they naturally do. And then we found that was very devastating, not only to the crops, not only to other crops, because it's more than just simply a bee flying around from flower to flower. They could fly around from flower to flower, plant to plant, touching different things, touching the grass, all those things are part of what we call an ecosystem. All those things in that ecosystem work together. If they don't work together, then guess what happens? Then the planet doesn't work. The oxygenation of the planet doesn't work. Waterways don't work. Glaciers melt. All these things begin to happen. Water table around the world begins to rise. We begin to lose our land mass. All these things because why? Because you took off one little creature, one little animal, one little insect called a bee. But I need you to think like a bee. One bee makes only 1/12 of the millions of gallons of honey it takes to sustain the hive for the next generation. So think about that. That one bee, his job is to do what? Only 1/12 of those millions of gallons that's going to sustain that hive for generations to come. Not just then, but for generations to come. That's how you should look at your 7 streams of income that you're going to be developing. What is my 1/12 of what I'm doing that's going to make a difference to my entire family for generations to come, to my entire community for generations to come, to my entire business for generations to come? So what you do today makes a difference. That's why when we give honor and we pay homage to um, John Lewis, Congressman John Lewis, and Reverend C.T. Vivian, we pay honor to them. We're paying honor to them because what? Those things that they did, that 1/12 that they put in, it adds to the collective of what's going to happen for generations to come. They will be talking about them, what they did, how they did that for generations. They will be following what they did. So I want you to think like a bee and think, I may be small or my business may not be as large, or my business may be $1 billion business. It is still 1/12 of the millions of gallons of honey that it takes to sustain this earth. It is not the whole earth. There's no one billionaire. There's no one millionaire. There's no one person out there who's making $20 a day or $100 a week or on general assistance. There's no one person. There are many of us that make a difference in this world. And what you do is you say, what are going to be my 7 streams of income that I'm going to create that are going to create an impact on the world today and for generations to come? Let's take a look at our next slide. Here is where we're going to really get into it. Now I need you to pull out your notepads and I need you to start taking some notes. As I always do, I always ask the class to take some notes during the class so that way afterwards you can remember. And if you have any questions, you can always go out to Women of Wealth magazine.com and put in the click on contact us and send any questions that you have, or you can click on the Facebook page there and you can actually send a message and we will get back to you and answer any questions that you have. So rich versus poor. Time, time, time. That is the key to everything, is the time that you take, the timetable versus a mindset. You see, money, we can make many more millions of dollars, many more billions of dollars. But time is the one thing we cannot make any more of. So how we spend our time is extremely important. One key that you really want to understand, and that is how you spend your money. The rich invest their money. And that's not simply the rich who gain richness by having money. That's rich in mind, rich in thought, rich in word, rich in deed. It's how they spend their money, it's how they spend their time. The big difference is that when you're in a poor mindset, what you do is When that poor mindset will take and spend first and invest second, or invest with what's left over. You must develop a mindset. If you want to have riches, if you want your streams of income, because you can create 7, 10, 15 different streams of income, but if you are creating them under the same mindset that you currently have, those streams will soon dry up. You have to invest first. And there's no excuse for not being able to invest today. Everybody within the sound of my voice have either heard of Cash App, have used Cash App, or have an idea of what Cash App is and what it does. You can invest on Cash App. Cash App, you can invest. You hit that little symbol that looks like a little Excel number going up. You press on that symbol, and then all you have to do is type in a name or part of a name. Think of, if you can't think of what should I invest in? Well, what did you eat this morning? Did you have cereal? You had milk? You had oatmeal? You probably went to McDonald's or you went to Starbucks. Invest in that. Invest in those things. You're looking at, if you are on social media, if you're on LinkedIn, you're on Facebook, you're reading the newspaper, you're seeing all the different companies out there that are doing very well, that are not this whole pandemic, everything. They're almost like they are null to all of this. Berkshire Hathaway is one of them. That's Warren Buffett's company, and it's right on there. You can go in, and I went in there and I took $1. I just wanted to see if it worked. I took $1 and I invested that in his A preferred stock, and I bought my $1 share of stock. And guess what I got after 30 days? I got a dividend. So I put $1 in, I got paid back already. No excuse. I didn't have to have any. All I had to do was press the button, say $1, press confirm. That was it. It was done. They did the rest of the work for you. So no excuse. You can go invest with your stockbroker. You can go invest with investment groups. They're all over the place. They're running over you. They're overrunning you with ads. They send ads all the time. They send you postcards. They send messages. Their names are up on billboards. No excuses whatsoever. If you invest with Ameritrade, you can go online to Ameritrade. I like them. And the reason I like them is because you can go online, Ameritrade.com, pick a stock. You want to know about it? Everything you want to read about it, everything about that stock since its inception is right there in front of you. Read every piece of knowledge, everything that you want to know about them, how well they did, all their future, their forecasts, all the way into the future. They'll tell you what they think they're going to do. Buy the stock. Invest your money. Do that first. Invest in yourself. Invest in your family. Invest in your business. Invest in your community. Invest in other businesses. When you have what's left over, that's what you spend from. But invest first. Figure out, what am I going to invest with? Create yourself a list. What types of things should I invest in? Some of the things that you should invest in, look around your house. Look at everything you have. You have wood in your home because your house is made of either wood, steel, bricks, all those things. Invest in wood, invest in steel, invest in bricks. You got concrete in your yard, invest in concrete. You have asphalt out there, invest in asphalt. Those are some basic things. You go and you look. Every morning you get up, you put your foot on a rug. Look at the tag. See who made that. Invest in that company. If you don't invest in anything else, normally that rug is going to be made out of either wood, polyester, or nylon. Invest in wool, polyester, and nylon. You go into your bathroom. You go, there's a plethora of stuff in your bathroom you can invest in. You can invest in American Standard. They make toilets. Everybody uses that. I don't think that's ever going to go out of business with that. There are things that are in there. Toothbrush. Everybody's going to use a toothbrush. There's not going to. They're not going to be toothbrush is not going to go out of style. You're going to always make money. You'll always be getting dividends. Electricity. You turn the lights on. Tell me one day you go and you use things in your home and you don't turn the lights on. You're going to invest in that. Invest in an electric company. Doesn't matter which one. Invest in all of them. Gas. You turn the gas on in your home. Invest in all the gas companies. Doesn't make a difference. Gas you use every day. Invest in it. Because we use gas in our homes. We use gas on the streets, everywhere. All these things, if you just simply look around you, whatever you use, if I use it, I invest in it. I have been doing that for years. That was the way I taught myself how to invest and what I would invest in. Can we go to the next slide? On your financial statement, here's where it gets a little dicey. Your financial statement personally and your financial statement for your business or businesses only has two major components to a financial statement. The only thing that someone, if they're asking you to create a financial statement, the only thing that they want to know are what assets do you have and what liabilities do you have? Assets are those things that you own 100%. So if you have a home with a mortgage on it, that goes on your liability side. That is not an asset because that is a debt that you still owe. And that's fine. You put that on the liability side. If you have otherwise a vehicle that you own or a home that you own outright, you owe no debt on it, then it is an asset. The same thing with vehicles. So what you want to do is you have to be truthful and authentic to yourself. You want to list down all of your assets in your home and all of your liabilities. Now, that's not just the liabilities that you can pay for, that you want to pay for, that you are paying for. Those are those liabilities that you can't pay for and that you will one day pay for. When you put these things in black and white in front of you, and I want you to review these things every 30 days. I want you looking at those lists and chewing them up, making sure that if something has changed, you take it off the list. It may have moved from a liability. You may have paid off a debt, and now you own that item. Now that item becomes an asset. Then you need to move that item. If you have incurred additional debt during the course of that month, you need to put that additional debt as a liability on there. And you're going to do the same thing for your business. Now, why am I having you go through these different exercises? Because at no moment in time should you not know your net worth. This is not something you have to remember or keep in your head. You can simply go back to your paper, pull it out. You can put that on a piece of paper. You can put that on a computer form. You can do that on Excel, whatever you want to do it on. Just long as you do it, add the numbers up, and it's real simple. The formula is right there in front of you. Your assets minus your liabilities equals your net worth. Don't be afraid and do not be ashamed that your net worth may be a negative number. If your liabilities are greater than your assets, the net worth will be a negative number. That's an opportunity. It is not a detractor. That is an opportunity for you to do what? To build your assets. To do what also? Build your wealth. To do what? Reason to create your 7 streams of income. So if your net worth is a negative number, that is an opportunity. If your net worth is a positive number, that is also an opportunity. That is the same opportunity. That is the same opportunity for you to do what? To build your wealth. An opportunity for you to build your assets. An opportunity for you to build your 7 streams of income, to make them far greater. So that now you're able to do more. Now you're able to do more with your business. You're able to do more with your family. You're able to live the life that you really want to live. So that is where I really want you to hone in and understand. Assets are those things that you own 100%. Liabilities are those things that you owe an amount on, any degree to any amount, and put everything on there. Be true to yourself and trust in the process. You do that every 30 days. You're looking at that, you're reviewing that every 30 days. You will find ways to bring those liabilities down and to increase your assets. And it will make a lot of sense what you need to do and how important it is to do it now to create those 7 streams of income. Can we see the next slide? Strict accounts. Here, you want to write down that it is very important. It is very near and dear that you track all of your spending, your savings, and your investments. One of the things that I recall years ago when I was dieting on one of these diets or what have you, one of the things they told us to do, they said to write down everything you ate. And that was the first time I had did this. This was after my second child was born, and I was in my 30s. So I was at that point, weight wasn't easy to come off. It wasn't like my first child. I think I got up from the hospital room and walked out the door, and weight just went left. So I said, okay. So I went, and I thought it was a ridiculous exercise, but I was told to do it, so I did it. And it made a lot of difference because what she said was write down everything, not some of the things, but everything that you eat. And when I did that, and I did that for a week, I didn't have to ask the questions. What do I need to do to lose weight? I didn't have to guess at what I needed to do. It was right there in front of me. I could see it. What I saw was what I was doing that was keeping the weight on, and what I was doing that was only going to add more weight. When you write down all the things that you spend, what you will see exactly. If you do that for 7 days, I want you to do that. I want you to take the challenge. Take the challenge for 7 days. Write down everything you spend. I don't care if you only buy a penny candy. I don't think there's penny candy anymore, but if you find some, let me know. Whatever you spend on, whatever dollar amount, whether you put that on your credit card or you pay cash for it, write it down. And at the end of the week, you'll see where your money is going, and you'll see what's important to you and what's not important to you. And then it will become very clear to you how to adjust your spending habits so that you are investing and saving first and spending last. Remember that: invest, save, and then you spend. You have to know where your money goes. Now, I have something up here that most people, they become very agitated and they always wonder, what does she really mean by this? Be happy to pay taxes. Well, I will tell you. And once I finish explaining to you how this actually works, and it's not a scheme, this is the smart and rich way it is done. The way that you are always happy to pay taxes is this: you do not pay your taxes first and upfront. You pay your taxes after you have done everything. That's how, when you see people who are in business and wealth building, what they do is everything that has to go to that business, all the operational, all the expenses, everything, all the savings, the investments, everything that they have to do for that business, research and development, plan for the future, pay for events and activities even for the coming years. All of that gets paid first out of the budget, out of all the monies, the income that they receive. Once they have calculated for all of that, then at the end of that, what's left over is what they pay taxes on. And that is the manner in which you are to do it. When you are paying taxes up front, paying taxes first, then you have a little bit of money left over that you can spend from. So you want to turn that around. And there are many ways that you can do that. You can go out to my website, sampfinancialgroup.com, and click on financial services. We have a CPA advisor there that can help you. If you don't go to them, find a accountant that's reputable that can work with you, a tax accountant preferably, and they'll show you exactly how to do it and what you need to do to set yourself up for your family or for your business so that you will actually reduce your tax liability and you'll be a very happy camper. Because what you will be doing is you will actually, when you're earning money, you will not be spending all of your money out and then having to try to live on just a small amount and do everything you need to do. Now you will enjoy the fruits of your labor, and it will be a joy to do what you're going to see on this next slide that's coming up. Achieving financial independence. Now, I know many of you go to the school of the 80-20 rule as far as how we're supposed to save money and what we're supposed to do with money and what have you. I ascribe to the 70-10-10-10 rule. And here's the reason why. 70% of your income that you receive goes to operate your business, operate your home, for developing new things that you want to do, development of your business, new projects, new things. 70% of your money. 10% of your money goes to charity. Charity, religious organizations, community organizations, whomever you want to give it to. 10% of your money goes to that. 10% of your money should be active capital for you to buy and sell. That should be money that you have set aside, 10%, so that you can invest in real estate. You can invest in someone that's coming along, different activities, different events that's going on. You can easily pull out some money. What we're seeing now with this COVID-19, with the stimulus package, we saw how that ran out of money, and a lot of people came to the forefront, and those people were able to take and put 100 million onto the table very easily, very quickly. Because why? That's their 10% of their income that they have been setting aside for active things to do. So that if something happens, they can help someone. That's why they can very easily go to the bank and tell their banker, fine, give them $100 million, give them $10 million, give them $100,000, what have you, without blinking an eye. Just pick up the telephone and dial and make it happen. The last 10% of your income should be passive capital that's invested for you. And that's that money. That's those dollars you put into that you can use on Cash App. That's those dollars you can use on Ameritrade or give to your trading broker and have them to trade for you. That's passive income. That's income where it's invested in stocks. You don't have to do anything but just give authorization. This is why I live by the 70-10-10-10. Because you want to achieve financial independence, you have to have a plan, you have to have a strategy. And you make that plan and you make that strategy work for you. And you do it slowly. This is not something that you're going to just immediately jump into. But I do want you to take that challenge and to write down what you are spending so that by the time I come back next week, all of you who are here in the class, you should have a sheet in your sheet. And I'm going to ask about that sheet. And and you should have on there what you spend. I'm going to say, how much did you spend in total? And I want you to put that in the Facebook and just be honest. You can round up the numbers or what have you, but be honest with yourself. Be authentic. Begin to become very honest and very authentic. If you want to build a higher wealth mindset, you have to be true to yourself. You can tell me anything. You can say, "Oh, I only spent $100," and you know that you spent $1,200 and it wasn't really on the right things, or what have you. Fine. I'll say, "Oh, that's wonderful. You just spent $100. That's excellent." But guess what? You'll probably be $1,200 in the hole come the beginning of the month with other things that you have to do and other obligations. So let's begin to be very authentic with ourselves with everything that we do. With that, that's a lot of information, I know. Next week's class is going to be very much a continuation, and we're just going to build. We're going to keep building because our purpose here is to take you to a higher wealth and to build you from here and into the future. Thank you for being here in the class today. I look forward to seeing all of you at next week's Higher Wealth Soaring Beyond the Now class.
Wow, Yvonne, that was so impactful, so insight. I got a lot of notes myself. I was taking my notes because, we're just sitting here in the now,
hmm
but we can't stay here.
No,
We've
no,
got
we
to
can't.
soar beyond the now,
Yep, that's
where
true.
we are. And so many of just sitting, how do I take advantage of this movement? I see everybody moving around me and I'm just going nowhere. Where are my ideas? How do I jump into a think
Yeah.
tank? What's going on with me? Well, it's impactful classes like this one
hmm
that will enable you, my Facebook audience, Instagram audience, Twitter audience, everybody, YouTube,
hmm
this will enable you to soar beyond the now. I am learning so much. Thank you.
Well, you're
Really, really
welcome.
appreciate you. And we have so much that we're going to be getting into as we move along with this master class, wealth building master class. And I hope you understand what we're doing. First, we're working with your mind. We got to get that right. And then you will be able to soar beyond the now that you're in. Regardless of whatever your now is, you can go beyond that. Elevate your mind,
Yes.
what we're all about. So I thank God for you and everyone that's on this in this master class. Um, I want you to reach out to me so that I can give you the Eventbrite link to sign up so that, and for a minute, it's still free. You know how you get in on the ground
Yeah.
floor of something? It's still free. Can't tell you how long. So quickly sign up for these classes. And because you're one of the first students, if you will, we're going to allow you to continue with it for free, but free will not always be. So go
Right.
ahead and sign up and reach out to me at womenofwealthmagazine.com, or Yvonne already told you her email info at St. Pete. Is that right?
Yes.
.com. Okay, so reach out to one of us, both of us, or whatever, and let us know how you're enjoying the class and that you want to continue in this series. And we're going to get a special gift out to you once you register with our Eventbrite. And again, when you come in next week, we'll be ready to give you that link and have you sign up and send you our special gift because it is our passion, our desire to enable you to create wealth, develop the wealthy mindset so that you can create wealth. We have so many exciting classes left for you to be a part of. And I love to say this, there's still opportunity to get that PPP or the idol. I'm trying to tell you. So
hmm
if you need money, right, Yvonne?
That's right.
Opportunity, reach out to us so
hmm
that we can help you through the process. And it is a process, and you do need help with it. It's not something you just jump in and it happens. We kind of guide you through it. So again, reach out, Women of Wealth Magazine at gmail.com, and let us know that you've been on the call. And of course, you can continue with the classes for free, but I will give it to you next week, the Eventbrite link where you'll be able to receive your free gift. And I ask God to keep all of you safe and bless you and hide you from this plague that's running around out here in this world. Hide you under his wings. And
Yes.
I mean, talk to him all day, at night, anytime you feel like it. There is no special time to talk to God. Sometimes I call them God walks. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I just decide to do a God walk. It gets so much just sitting and looking at the news. I have to leave the house and take one of these God walks. And as
Mm-hmm.
you walk, you talk to him. And just like I talked to Yvonne, let him know that you have a need.
Mm-hmm.
You want to draw
Yes.
closer to him if that's the
Right.
need. You whatever you're asking God for. Let me tell you something. This is the perfect time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a transference of wealth that's
Right.
going on in the atmosphere. And again, I mentioned wealth. Yes, it means money, but so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
Family, relationships. It
Yes.
means so much. Do that God walk. Talk to him about it. Let him know how you want to draw closer to him, and he will meet you halfway. It's not a hard thing to do. Just talk to him about what's going on. Like I said, it's really hard. We're losing so many people that we know, and I just want you guys to stay safe and just hide under the protection of God. And that Psalm, what is that? That our protection Psalm, Psalm 91. I try to read that every night. I want that to sink in my spirit. So, Psalm 91, that's our protection Psalm. He
Okay.
says, no evil shall befall us, and no plague shall come near our dwelling place, long as we stay in the secret place of the Most High God. So I'm thoroughly enjoying these sessions, and email us and tell us how you are liking them yourself.
Yes.
With that, unless Yvonne has something else to say, God be kind to us and keep us safe.
Okay. Thank you. Good night.